We're heading into accessory season, the time where you want to either buy something for yourself or give something to a loved one. That loved one or yourself might have a Samsung device, and you might want to complement that device with an accessory. Well, today I'm going to give you my top 10 Samsung accessory list to help you in your journey. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech with Benefits. Daniel here. Merry holidays for everyone that is going to celebrate. We've got a nice sunny holiday festive season coming up. Wherever you are in the world, though, you might want to rug up, of course. Today, I want to show you 10 of my favorite Samsung accessories that can complement your smartphone or Samsung device. That's it. Very simple. I've also got a link set up in the description where you can find these if you want to grab one of them for yourself. Kind of broken it up into sections. I've got some charging accessories, I've got some productivity accessories, and I've also got some storage accessories and some dongles and adapters and all that as well. Let's dive in and start with charging. Samsung make a lot of charging accessories. First party ones too, not third party ones and waiting for the market to be flooded with Belkin or whatever other brands are out there. Samsung like to get ahead of the curve and make it themselves. The first charging accessory that I 100% recommend for anyone with a Samsung device is the wireless charger trio. This thing for me has been a game changer when it comes to charging my ecosystem. Because it's a trio charger, it's got 2 spots for phones and buds, and then a dedicated spot for the watch. And because I have all 3 of those, it makes charging them a breeze. It comes in and supports a 25-watt charger, so it's USB-C as well. So it means that it's low power. Whilst that might not sound inviting because you might want to charge faster, it's quiet. And it doesn't have a fan or need a fan that kicks into gear to make it loud and intrusive when you're trying to sleep. It is the perfect overnight charger for your ecosystem, and one that I wholeheartedly recommend. Samsung have brought out things like the wireless charger duo, which is effectively the same concept with faster charging for your phone. Depending on how quickly you want to get your device charged, you might want to go to that option. But for me, this one's the solution. Works really well. If you're not keen on wireless charging and you are looking still for something that can charge your ecosystem, look no further than the Trio charger from Samsung. This is a 65-watt wall charger that can charge up to 3 devices at once via cables. The top USB-C charger can output up to 65 watts of charging. So that's great because not only can it charge things like your S23 Ultra and Tab S9 Ultra at 45-watt fast charging, but you can also still have a second slot at the bottom for 25-watt fast charging. And combined, you get 65 watts of charging. So it's got 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A, 65 watt, 25 watt, and max 15 watt from all of those individually. Myself, I actually use this in a really clever way. I've got a 25 watt output going to the wireless charger trio, and then I have at the top a faster charging output for when I do need my phone topped up a little bit faster, and also for my tab as well. The bottom one, I keep that reserved for anything that still needs USB-A. A majority of the time it's older legacy devices that require micro USB charging, so that port stays free for that. Now you might not need any of those. Your charging needs might be one device, and for that I recommend Samsung's 45 watt fast charger. It's a single USB-C output from the top, thankfully, and it outputs up to 45 watts of fast charging. If you have an ecosystem like the Tab S9 Ultra and the S23 Ultra, charging both of those from this can be really beneficial and speed things up. Just another one to consider, but that's my top 3 charging options for your Samsung ecosystem. Next, we move into the productivity portion of the video. Things that you can add to your Samsung devices to increase your productivity and output. Now, there's 3 things I'd like to cover off here. The first one is Samsung's Trio 500 keyboard. What I really like about this is that, one, it's designed really nice. I like the orange accents that sort of stand out for different functions. 2 is that it just runs on batteries, and it's also Bluetooth, so it's wireless. And it's got a light and slim profile, which means you can kind of take it with you anywhere you go. What I really like too is that Samsung have built functions in here specifically to cater to Samsung devices. You've got the 3 app shortcuts here at the top, so you can press the function key and have it launch individual apps for you. And then of course you have the dedicated DeX button. So if you have a device that's capable of DeX and you've got the environment set up correctly, press this button and DeX will launch. The rest of the keyboard is pretty much as you would expect. All of the function row is there. Samsung has customized some of the keys to suit the needs of this type of keyboard. So you've got 3 different Bluetooth devices you can connect it to, and you've also, like I said, the DeX and the app keys. The rest of it is probably as you would expect from a keyboard. It's very much built for mobile devices. So Tab S9 series, S23 Fold as well. This is your keyboard you want to go with. The next accessory to talk about for productivity is the S Pen Pro. Now this is the older one. I believe Samsung is launching / has launched a newer one. Haven't seen it or got my hands on it yet. But this one's quite clever in its implementation. Samsung has designed this to be able to work with not just the Galaxy Z Fold series, but also with the S series as well that supports S Pen input, and the Tab series as well that also supports S Pen input. So there's a toggle at the top that you can go between Z Fold and S Pen. What Samsung has done is they've built different frequencies for each of those toggles so it knows which phone it's connecting to. It can only work with one or the other. It charges via USB-C at the top, and it's very easy to pair. You have the S Pen Air Command button there, and then a little toggle on top of that that also acts as the pairing button to make sure it can connect to the device you want it to. It's smart because it's also got the Air actions, which enable things like the Z Fold 5 to be able to control the camera and do other things as well. It's got a slightly thicker tip at the top, and that is for protecting the Z Fold's inner display, because of course we know it's a little bit more delicate than your standard display on a normal smartphone. S Pen Pro, great accessory, adds a lot to a device that can use it. The last productivity to cover off in this section is SSDs. Samsung as a company don't just make smartphones and tablets and watches and wearables. They make all sorts of things. Storage solutions, fridges, washing machines, TVs. That's a whole nother video again. But the SSDs are really much the benchmark for when it comes to portable storage solutions. Because of their compact nature and because of the fact that Samsung's a leader in the memory space, these are so good to have in as part of your, I guess, accessory ecosystem. The T7 Shield, which is my newer one that I got here, 2 terabyte version, it's so handy because it not only is it water and dust resistant, but it also just connects to the phone via USB-C. And the transfer speeds make it blazingly fast to get content from your phone onto this. I use it as part of my ecosystem near on every week, getting footage I've shot on my S23 Ultra onto here for backup purposes, but also for transfer purposes. It's really good. You've also got the standard T7 option, which is a little bit slimmer in its design because it doesn't have the shield aspect of it. So there's a couple of options you can go with. I've gone and prefer the shield just because I know that everything's secure, not just from an encryption or just safety point of view, but also just if I drop it or it rains, this is protected as well. There is some apps and smartphone apps that you can get to add on to the T7 series that make it sort of work a bit more seamlessly on your smartphone. But honestly, you won't really need to. Because of the way Samsung works, their smartphones can read this like an external memory, and you can access and interact with everything straight from here. So it's great. The next 3 are to do with dongles and adapters. Now, in a world where I didn't think Samsung would ever need dongles and adapters, when they removed the headphone jack, we unfortunately had to head down that path. But that's okay, because Samsung created a whole dongle ecosystem that actually extend beyond just USB-C to 3.5mm. That is where we're going to start, USB-C to 3.5mm, which I think is still an important setup of a smartphone's ecosystem of accessories. Samsung do make a first-party one, which I have somewhere. I genuinely have no idea where it's gone. I still have a third-party one, but I've linked the genuine one in my link in the description. But basically the whole premise of this is that you can connect this to the phone and it gives you access to 3.5mm devices at this end. I don't use it for headphones. What I use this for is to get microphones hooked in to my S23 Ultra. I've been using a Honeywell Mark M1, which is actually really, really good for this purpose. It's a wireless lapel mic, and I basically just have to plug this into here, this into the phone, and I have my 3.5 to USB-C operating flawlessly. The next one expands on that, and it's been part of Samsung's lineup for a while. It's USB-C to HDMI. Now, this is a very old USB-C to HDMI Samsung adapter. It still works, and it still is absolutely part of my setup. I take this with me everywhere I go in case I need it. There is obviously other solutions out there now. You can get USB straight to HDMI, no need for the extra cable, which is great. But what I find with this is that it just gives you a bit more flexibility in what you can adapt it to. I can output from here to a projector because some projectors don't have HDMI. There's options like that can take into consideration when I have HDMI to VGA, for example. I haven't been able to find this specific one in my link below, but I have put something similar. So take a look for it. But basically all you need to do is put this in the phone, HDMI out to a monitor or a TV, and you've got yourself DeX for one, but also really advanced screen mirroring straight from something like this. The last little dongle or adapter I'll highlight is this little one here. This one's Samsung's first party. These actually used to come in the box when you'd buy a new Samsung to facilitate the smart switch process. But they are still a very handy addition to anyone's setup. It's USB-A to USB-C. There's multiple different reasons why you'd want something like this. One, thumb drives. You can plug directly into there, and then this end can go into the phone. Two, USB-A keyboards can be plugged directly into this, and again act as a peripheral. Mouses as well. I've seen lots of people who have smashed up phones where the touchscreen doesn't work, plug a mouse in via this, and they have access to their phone again. Now again, I haven't been able to find this specific one, but there's lots of third-party ones like it. I've chucked one in my description below for you to check out, but it's just very handy, very inexpensive to add to your accessory set. And the last one that I think is now should be a vital part of any Samsung user is the Smart Tag. Smart Tag 2 to be specific. I did a full video on this just last week where you can see exactly how to set this up, how to use it, how it works. But effectively, what you want from this is just the ability to track items which aren't smart. So your keys, your wallet, that sort of stuff. This is perfect at adding to that. And because Samsung has a really large user base globally, it does lean into that by allowing other devices to help find yours. For that reason, I think the Smart Tag 2 is an absolute must buy if you're looking to protect some devices that can't be protected. So that is my top 10 list. It's quite extensive in terms of what it covers: charging, productivity, dongles, but also like the ability to extend your Samsung ecosystem beyond just your mobile devices, keys, wallet, etc. with the Smart Tag 2. If you're keen on any of those, feel free to check out the Amazon link in the description. I've compiled all of these into one convenient location and you can check them out for yourself. But that's it for this video. We're heading into the festive season and it's very exciting for everyone. Everyone probably needs a bit of a break. It's been a long year, but between now and my next video, make sure you subscribe for one. Really keen on building the community that I'm growing, especially with lots of launches to come. And also make sure you come and follow me on my socials. I've got Twitter/X, which I'm quite active on, and also on Instagram. And I'll see you in the next one. You!